as I see different names, different faces, just to remind you all, this is not a lecture. This is a study. Everyone, please feel free to ask, to make comments, to even say that I don't agree with that for any particular reason. We want to have this simple as possible to give us the opportunity to share the little we know and hopefully to help all of us in the same goal. Let me share with you all our book. Oh dear. Because I need to open the book. For some reason it is not open. Now it is. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I just read this, otherwise I cannot read. So we started the last two encounters talking about the introduction. Another thing that is important is that we are not in a hurry. If we have to stay the whole day talking about one sentence, so be it. If that happens, means that we have so much to talk about it, or we have so many questions about it, so it's also positive. And today we're starting a different method, if we can say like that. We will stop our study 45 minutes, with 45 minutes, giving like 15 minutes open to everyone that may want to share their experiences, they want to ask, they want to contribute in any shape and form. Because we felt like in the end, people were more willing to participate. So let's see how that will work today. So we are starting the first topic, that is, are they spirits? Item number 1. The cause of doubt regarding the existence of spirits is due primarily to ignorance of their true nature. Well, what does it have to do with mediumship, right? The medium's book. Well, we need to believe in spirits, otherwise we'll have a very hard time to understand this particular book. Do we all believe in spirits? Sometimes not. The practice showed to us that even people that decide to join this medium's book studies in the past, some of them did not trust 100% in spirits. Some of them were really, really afraid about spirits. Is that the case here? I do not know. But we need to understand that we are spirits. There is no difference between us or the discarnated spirits. The difference that really make us sometimes even scared is because we have a body, a physical body. And when we passed away, this physical body, this type of matter is gone. But the essence is the same. The spirit remains the same. The spiritual body remains the same. Quite often, people are really, really scared about spirits. And can we blame someone for that? Definitely not. We human beings, we are afraid about the unknown. Doesn't matter what it is. And when we talk about spirits, the first thing that comes to our mind is ghosts, poltergeist, this type of things that the media and Hollywood helped a lot to scare us. But it is very natural to have a relation with the spiritual world. Some people have different perceptions. Some people have different experiences, but we all have a kind of experience with them through the dreams, through sensations, or even talk to them. But that is just something that we're going to be discussing furthermore in the future. But it is important that we all here in this room, we need to understand that we are spirits and it is natural. Because if you think it's supernatural, then we go to Hollywood again, thinking about the monsters, all the ghosts things, all the movies, and that's not really like that. So we need to be open-minded to those that really are not really confident that experiences exist. And through this study, on the end, if you still don't believe they exist, so be it, but very unlikely, because Kardec is reasoning about every single aspect of the spiritual world, and he will give us enough information to make us think twice if they exist or not. Spirits are usually imagined to have been created as a separate class of being whose experience has not yet been proven. Existence has not yet been proven. What I believe, it has been proven in so many ways. But if you don't want to believe, no one will change that for you. I'm used to participate in mediumship meetings. And once in a while, we used to have a conversation in the end, because it is not possible that what we saw was not true, was not real. And one thing that I used to say to the people is that after all those exposures, those experiences we are having together, if you do not believe in spirits or in the phenomena, we have a massive problem. Because probably you think we are all crazy. And we have so many examples, like how someone that cannot even read can talk a different language. How someone that have no idea about medicine, about clinical procedure, can explain something in details that doctors that are present in the meeting, they have a hard time to understand sometimes. How is that possible? Are you all crazy to that level? If we are not crazy to that level, means that something else exists. Something else is interacting with us. And what is interacting with us? They are spirits. But as ever, if we decide to talk to a type of scientists, they'll say it's not possible. Have you tried? Have you come up with some experiences to prove they don't exist? No, but it's not possible. So we need to move a step back, keep ourselves open to different kind of information, to different kind of experiences. And we need also to think that if the experiences do not exist, what is driving ourselves? What makes us human beings? Because on top of flesh and bones, what are we? Are we just a massive chemical reaction? Because if we are a massive chemical reaction, we all should like exactly the same things. We all should do exactly the same things. Because a chemical reaction that happens on everyone should have exactly the same results. And we know we don't. We like different things. We do different things. We are different people. So what is that makes that difference? Some people call that soul. Even Kardec called the incarnated spirits as souls. So what is that? So let's keep our mind open, and through this study, hopefully, you all have more questions than answers, because that will be very positive. Many persons are only familiar with the spirits because of the fantastic stories they heard as children, which would be like trying to know someone's life history by reading a novel. We talk about that here, right? So how many things we heard when we were kids, right? So many cases, so many weird histories. But if we are born in an environment where dealing with the spirits is normal, we don't have fear. We know it's normal. It's part of our life. It's part of what we are. So it all depends on people's exposures, the type of family exposure to that kind of information. Apart from the absurdities that upset them, they do not try to find out if these stories, if the verse divested of nonsensical accessories, might have some basis in truth. Well, some of the things we hear that we think is nonsense, some of them are true, but it's not magical. It's not supernatural. But we do not understand what is behind that phenomena. And then we become scared. Then we don't understand. Then we call that supernatural. But there's a normal and simple law behind those things. Right? Let's move on, otherwise I'll start to talk too much. Munir, Charles, help me here. Don't let me talk too much.
Yeah, Larry, I just want to say, since we were talking about people who, question of believing or not in spirits, I think this is more difficult, although people who don't have the mediumistic faculty in a broad way, I mean, open and experience the presence of spirits on a daily basis. For those people who have the channel more or less closed, it's more difficult. They perhaps still understand, accept there are spirits, but they go into a room, it's empty. Then they say, oh, there may be some spirit here, but full stop, They carry on as if there's nothing there, they are blind. So the presence of the spirits, the interaction of the spirits with us, it becomes more difficult to be incorporated in the daily life and the daily way of seeing things and behaving. I think that's why some people, they believe but don't believe at the same time in this sense. Oh yes, I believe. Yes, no, it makes all sense. Yes, no, I know they exist and so on. But where are they? They can't see. It's more like that, and it can be incorporated into the daily way of the person behaving. Because for them, it's something that is only in the mind. It's not exactly, in constant interaction with them. And some people have more difficulty just to, incorporate that into their way of seeing and behaving.
That's very true. You remind me one thing, that sometimes even ostensive mediums, they have a hard time to believe in spirits and even in themselves. So it's natural to have lots of people not believing in this thing, isn't it? Yeah, very, very true. Very true. So let's move on. They do not want to put forth the effort to remove the bitter shell of the nut in order to get at the kernel inside. I think that's in line with what we mentioned here earlier today, right? Now, I don't believe, but why you don't believe? Have you tried? Have you tried to remove the shell to see what is inside, And likewise, even the Spiritists, they say, I don't believe certain things. Have you tried? Because Spiritism is experience as well, is exposure to several phenomena. So if you haven't tried, how can you say, I don't believe, or it's not possible? I think we all have to try, otherwise we remain in the infancy of our lives. Therefore, they reject the whole, as do those involved in religion, who, upset by certain abuse, include the whole matter under one and the same condemnation. Pode vir, Chico. Pode vir, Chico. Pode vir, Chico. Sorry, guys. There is one thing that came to my mind that got my attention here. Is what we're talking here a religion or not? It depends who you ask. But Spiritism, it is philosophy and science. And the most important is learn how to use the information that we receive from Spiritism.
It's not this one, no.
Yes, anyone want to ask anything? No? Okay, I thought I heard that. Someone talk. They do not want us to put that forward. I read that. So, okay, let's move on. Therefore, they reject the whole as do those involving religions who, upset by certain abuse, include the whole matter under one and the same condemnation. I think it is fair to say that lots of religions from the past, even nowadays, they create so many rules, what is right or what is not right. We are not here for that. We are here to learn the mechanism that is involved in the mediumship phenomena. This study here in particular is not just for Spiritists, it's for everyone, because mediumship is everywhere. Mediums are everywhere. Doesn't matter if you're Catholic, Protestant, or whatever, it's there, because it's natural. So we are not here to judge, we are not here to say what is right and what is wrong. We are here just to share the little we know, and perhaps helping those that could not find information elsewhere to apply to their own situations or to the friends that may need or whatever. Okay, so we are very open to every aspect. And we are also hoping that we all in this room will be very open to try to also understand the mechanism behind the phenomena. Whatever our idea about spirits may be, such belief is necessary based on the existence of an intelligent principle apart from the matter. What do we all think? Do we all believe that when we die, that's it? It's over? I don't think so. But if we do, how can I understand mediumship? Mediumship is another soul or spirit, if you like, interacting with us. If when my physical body dies, perished, if everything is over, that wouldn't be possible. So at least something after our physical body perish remains. Our intelligence, our love, our knowledge, that remains. This belief is incompatible with the complete denial of such a principle. Therefore, we take our departure from the existence, survival of individuality of the soul, of which spiritualism offers us a dogmatic, theoretical demonstration, while Spiritism offers a patent demonstration. For the moment, however, let us set aside the spirit manifestations per se and reason by induction. Let us see what consequences may result. If anyone have a question or want to make a comment, please feel free to jump, open the mic.
Maybe just
Yeah,
quickly,
could
I
I
mean,
add something? Oh, sorry, Charles. It's just some observation. Maybe it's just from my side, but maybe someone else here thinks like the same as me. It's just like I think spirits. It's not about religion or not that I think. This is my understanding about that. It's not only about religion or faith. It's just because it's, in my opinion, this is logical. Like we know many things about life, and some years ago we didn't know that. So it's just like it's possible and very logical that there is something else. And how we can't explain many things in the life, I just believe that something else exists. So sometimes I just think, I hope there are many people here like me. We are here just because we are completely sure that there are something else. We don't know exactly what, but we know we don't know many things yet.
Charles?
yes, I was about to say that I'm always admiring the clarity, simplicity, strength of the reasoning that Kardec is doing. And okay, it's not to discuss too much about this because there is the next chapter which is called method, where he goes a little bit more in detail, but he really is to say analyzing the things in such a, how to say, it's common sense, incarnated common sense, as Flammarion told. And really this reasoning, when we read them, we see every word, every sentence is exactly at its place, isn't it?
That's very true. That's very true. That's one of the main reasons why I always refrain to Kardec's books, because despite that we have today more than 1,000 different books about Spiritism, I feel like Kardec always will be Kardec. He is the safest reference to all of us.
And just to add, it comes from someone who didn't believe at first in his spirit.
I don't like to see
I don't care. It's my choice.
That's why it's important. I mean, it's someone who hasn't got preconceived ideas. So, you know, that perhaps that's one of the reasons why it's so clear. He uses the method to get to this point, and not just preconceived ideas, or he wanted us to see the way he saw.
Indeed, indeed. And
Oi.
Oi?
Good morning. I have, I think maybe the first tomo one, but it's the same because she said, Madame said, we know we are spiritists, but it's not only, not yet. But then it's difficult to understand that spirits always have, because it's like us without our body. So, but I think so. Maybe they are only afraid that somebody they are very, very afraid about spirits. So then somebody with parentheses, they don't see, somebody they don't see can do so, take control of their life, and so maybe they can use control to the existence. They maybe is afraid about dark magie. So, you know, this is magie, the only fantasy, but maybe they have. What can we do? What can we do about this?
Well, if I understood everything you said, we cannot do anything, because it is down to each individual to evaluate the experience they have and what they are prepared to believe. I met over the years people that asked me, I want to believe, can you help me? I said, I can't. I can supply you enough information, enough reasoning that yourself in the end will have to make a conclusion. I cannot transfer my knowledge, I cannot transfer what I know to anyone, not even to my son. But what I can do is to give him enough data, information. I can expose him to different experiences. And in the end, he or she is the one who needs to make up their mind. And as ever, as I like to say quite often, we are not here to convince anyone. Not even Jesus convinced everyone at his time, not even today. So who am I to pretend that I will one day do something like that?
Guilherme, here in Stockholm, Swedish people, we find everywhere, in the bus, in the metro, they talk to myself, they talk many things. So I know, I see, I know it's a medium talk, but they don't understand this. And it's terrible because I don't know them. So I can't only come to them and say, because it's not usually here in Sweden. We don't only come to somebody. But afraid because people they are only medium, not psychiatrists, hospital also. And but there happens. They meet the doctor and have a stronger medicine and it's not good this. But I would like to help, but it's not so easy. We try. I try, and I would like to meet the people, Spiritist people here. We could help help them to maybe when a little club to try to they have one extra tool and understand that they are not sick. So
okay. I think we are deviating a bit of the objective of what you're studying today, but I think that what you brought is very positive. So what we all can do in such a scenario where we think a person is under a spirit influence is pray. That's something that we all can do, right? Doesn't cost anything, and that's all we can do. But not everything is related to spirits, right? And then if you pray, you're praying for someone that has a disease, or you can pray to someone that's having a spiritual influence. Very good. So let me talk about now about religion, because our sister mentioned about religion, about what is or what is not as well. And we need to understand what is the meaning of the word. Nowadays in our society, a lot of people decide to use different words for the same thing, changing what is the meaning of the words and things like that. But religion means religare, means connect. So I can say that my football is a religion for me. I'm going every week, that particular day, that particular time, to a club playing football and I cannot miss it. Is this a religion? In the sense of the word, yes, because it's reconnecting, connecting people in a activity. So everything that connects more than one person to something, in the sense of the word, we can say it is. But Spiritism, in the essence, is not a religion. Despite that, back home in Brazil, a lot of us, when being asked, what is your religion? Oh, I'm a Spiritist. So on the end of the day, the word doesn't mean anything, depending on the way you see that fit in your life. If you feel like that is a religion for you, great. If you don't, great as well. Spiritism for me is more a science than anything else, because I see science in a lot of things on the Spiritism. But to other people can be philosophy, could be anything else. And that doesn't matter. What is important is that we acquire the information given by the Spiritism and trying to improve ourselves and those around us. And if in the end we become better persons, great. That's what is written there. That's supposed to be our goal. Okay? And let's move on. If we believe in the existence of the soul and its continued individuality after death, we must also believe that its nature is different than the body, since once separated from the body, it can no longer retain its material properties. What is he trying to say here in simple words? When we die, we do not carry on with us our physical body, but must exist something to maintain our individuality, even when we are spirits. When we die, we do not become just a small cloud moving from A to B as we go along. No, we still have something that we call spiritual bodies after we detached ourselves from our physical body. It possesses its own consciousness because it is subject to happiness or suffering. Is that true? Do you all think that's true? I hope so. Without consciousness, it would be an inert being, and thus its existence would be meaningless to us. If we believe this much, then it is obvious that the soul must go somewhere after death. Let me just stop here, otherwise we'll move so far from the point. Let's talk about happiness and suffering when we passed, when we die, when we leave our physical body. I'm using the word die because I want to make myself easily understood, but there's no death. We just move on. We just turn the page, right? So, but how can I ensure that we still are ourselves and maybe happy or maybe suffering? Through a practical experience. We see that every day we go to a mediumship meeting. Those spirits that come to talk to us, sometimes they are happy, very happy, and sometimes exactly the opposite. And as I said earlier today, sometimes even speaking a different language from the medium, so the medium would not even know what he's talking to. So that is enough to me to believe that, okay? And another thing that he's saying here, where the spirit must go, the soul must go after death. If we believe something is left after our physical body dies, what is left is our soul, is what we are, is our essence. If something is left, it must go somewhere. Which is our destiny? Which place we should go? Right? I'm just making those kind of questions to make you think and further on in the study, you will come to that conclusion yourselves. But the inertia does not exist for anything. Because when I lose my physical body, I'm still thinking. I have desires. I feel pain. And where should I go? All right. But if anyone wants to talk or anyone wants to make any comment about that before I go? No? Okay.
Guilherme, the last 15 minutes will be the questions, or?
Yes, we're open to an open discussions about what we're studying here today. Yeah. So if you don't feel comfortable to jump in right now, on the end, 15 minutes will be open to everyone to talk. But what becomes of it? And where, in fact, does it go? André Luiz's books are wonderful to understand that very well. According to common belief, it either goes to heaven or to hell. But where are heaven and hell? Heaven and hell. Where did you hear that for the first time? Probably at home, with our parents, with our grandparents. Since human beings are human beings, there's always that notion of somewhere that's good, somewhere that's not that good. Even today, in the Spiritism, we bring that, it's not knowledge, it is that feeling with us. Through the Spiritism, we understand that hell and heaven is not really hell and heaven. We have so many different layers, and we will end up in one of those layers depending on what we are. And we are the choices we made, right? But one thing that I want to mention here, that's a lot of people, even in the Spiritism, say heaven and hell is inside each one of us. We need to understand what it is. Heaven and hell is not inside ourselves. If we consider that as a geographic position, that wouldn't be possible. But what we are, the choice we make, if I do good or if I do evil, I will create equivalent vibration inside of myself. And at the end, that vibration will drag me to this very particular place. That's called resonance. Resonance, we vibrate in the same vibration of the place we will end up with, right? It used to be said that heaven was up above and hell was down below. But where is up above and down below? In the universe, since we know that the earth is round and that the heavenly bodies turn in such a way that for us, up above and down below are reversed every 12 hours. And the infiniteness of outer space can be probed into incommensurable distances. I think that nowadays we have a better understanding that the spiritual world is everywhere. There's no up and down as such. There are places that have different vibrations. If your vibration is a bit more dense, we used to say you're going down. If your vibration is lighter, you're going up. But that's not entirely true, okay? We have to remember that not too long ago, we thought our planet was flat. We evolved. Now we know through scientists' facts that our planet is not flat. So eventually, science will also evolve, bring us a better knowledge of everything we talk through this book and to the other Spiritist book. Slowly, we see things that have been brought to us by the Spiritism like 70 years ago being proved by science today. So I'm truly confident that one day we'll know scientifically a lot of things we discuss here. It is true that we can understand low places to mean the depth of the earth. But what are such a depth nowadays after they have been excavated by geology? What he's trying to say here, I think MUNIR will be able to help me more because he's more scientist than I am, I believe. But I think what he's trying to say here, we may make a massive hole, excavate a massive hole in our garden trying to find what he's saying here. We won't find anything because we are in the different stages of the material, of the matter.
Yeah, I think it was the belief that heaven was in the sky, you know, and hell was below the surface of the earth, the crust of the earth. But geology at Kardec's time was sort of a fast developing science. And they proved a lot of things. That's why he mentioned that, you know, you can go into the depths of the planet and you won't find hell. Well, you'll find the rocks and then magma and so on, and the layers, you know, but no hell as such.
You remind me of one thing here, right? I work in the oil industry. And in the beginning, we used to have a joke. Hey, be careful. We're going to touch the hell very soon. Because we go so deep into the earth to recover oil and things like that, that we used to have that joke. But in the reality, everything is interlaced. We are now side by side with the spiritual world. As we see through other books, Spiritists or spiritual cities are next door. It's not something that is so far away, you know. When we talk about spirits, they are here beside us right now. They are not that far. It's not like I need to get a bus to go over there or something. We are all interlaced. So that's why it's very important to us always to survey our vibration, always to survey our choices. Well,
yeah, I would say that we are immersed in the spiritual world. Even in the dense material world, we are immersed in the spiritual world.
More than we thought.
Yeah.
And just to give it an idea, when we say that we are more in the spiritual world than we think, it's because some of ideas we have, some of intuitions, it's coming from them. They are beside us. They are helping us. They are trying to guide us through the difficult path of our lives. It's true to say the contrary is also true, you know? So that's why we always need to be trying to be better persons every day, because that's the only way we can guarantee that we'll have good friends around us. Well, I think it's time to stop